In 1972, three young American friends in their 20s, Mike Cook, May Stanley, and Paul Smith, decided to set sail on a thrilling adventure. Armed with a small, modest boat, they departed from California, heading down the western coast of Mexico. Their dream was to spend a carefree summer exploring the open seas, enjoying the thrill of new horizons and the sense of freedom that only the ocean can provide. However, their modest boat had an unreliable engine, a fact they brushed off in their excitement. Little did they know that this journey would lead them into a harrowing tale of survival, danger, and one of the most audacious prison escapes ever attempted. Their journey took them to Mazatlan, a bustling coastal city in Mexico. It was here that their engine failed completely, leaving them stranded with limited resources. With just $300 left to their name, the friends began brainstorming ways to salvage their trip and continue their adventure. While initially lighthearted, their plans took a darker turn as desperation set in. It was in Mazatlan that they encountered a risky yet tempting opportunity: the chance to smuggle hashish back to the United States, where it could be sold at a significant profit. This plan, though seemingly straightforward, would thrust the friends into a dangerous underworld of crime. As they began to navigate this perilous path, they unknowingly set into motion a series of events that would change their lives forever. Their naive decision to participate in smuggling spiraled out of control, leading them into a web of deceit, treachery, and eventual capture. Before they knew it, their carefree adventure had morphed into a nightmare, and they found themselves incarcerated in one of Mexico's most infamous prisons. As the days turned into weeks and the harsh realities of prison life set in, the trio's bond was tested like never before. Together, they would face unimaginable challenges, craft a daring escape plan, and embark on a journey to reclaim their freedom. What started as an innocent quest for adventure quickly became a testament to the human spirit's resilience and determination to survive against all odds. Stranded in Mazatlan, the three friends found themselves caught between desperation and opportunity. Their dreams of an adventurous summer had crumbled, and with only $300 remaining, they were forced to rethink their plans. It was then that a dangerous idea took root: purchasing hashish at a fraction of the cost in the United States, smuggling it back across the border, and selling it for a substantial profit. This risky endeavor seemed like the solution to all their problems, promising not only the means to repair their boat, but also the funds to continue their journey. The three friends began their search for a local dealer. After some inquiries, they encountered a man willing to sell them hashish. However, a miscommunication with the seller resulted in them purchasing 6 large bags of hashish for their entire $300. Nervous but determined, they carried the conspicuous bags through the streets of Mazatlan, narrowly avoiding the attention of local authorities. Back at the dock, they quickly devised a clever hiding place, stuffing the hashish into their surfboards to conceal it from prying eyes. Their relief was short-lived, as their unreliable boat engine continued to thwart their plans. Desperate for a way out, the friends encountered Frank and Dan Sierra, 2 American brothers with a seemingly perfect solution. The Sierras offered to take the trio back to the United States on their boat, promising safe passage and an opportunity to transport their hashish. However, the brothers had a dark secret of their own. They were professional smugglers, using their vessel to transport a staggering ton of hashish to the U.S. Tempted by the offer of $10,000 each for their assistance, the three friends agreed to join forces with the Sierras, unaware of the deeper dangers awaiting them. As they embarked on this precarious partnership, the trio unknowingly plunged deeper into a world of crime and deceit. The allure of quick money blinded them to the risks ahead, setting the stage for a journey that would test their courage, resourcefulness, and ultimately, their very will to survive. The voyage began smoothly, but by the 7th night, disaster struck. The overloaded boat collided with an unseen object, likely a submerged rock or debris, sending the vessel into chaos. Water poured in as the boat began to sink rapidly. The 5 men scrambled to gather their belongings and save themselves. In the pitch-dark night, surrounded by towering waves, they clung to floating debris and fought to stay afloat. Hours of struggle later, they finally washed ashore, exhausted and disoriented. To their dismay, the bags of hashish they had tried so hard to conceal also washed up on the beach alongside them. Desperate to avoid detection, the group frantically buried the hashish in the sand, covering their tracks as best as they could. They knew that discovery by local authorities would mean severe consequences. But their ordeal was far from over. While attempting to hitch a ride from nearby villagers, they were spotted by armed police who had been tipped off about suspicious activity along the coast. The sight of the bedraggled men and the telltale signs of buried contraband quickly raised suspicions. The group was arrested on the spot. Dragged to the local police station, they faced grueling interrogations. The language barrier only worsened their predicament as the officers presented them with documents written in Spanish, demanding signatures. Despite their protests and pleas, the police used intimidation, including threats of violence, to coerce them into signing confessions. Helpless and out of options, the friends reluctantly complied, sealing their fate. Within days, they were transferred to a notorious Mexican prison known for its brutal conditions. The facility was overcrowded, with inmates crammed into filthy, decrepit cells. Violence was rampant, and survival depended on forming alliances or maintaining a low profile. For the three friends and the Sierra brothers, the nightmare had only just begun. Stripped of their freedom and facing the harsh realities of prison life, they knew they had to find a way out, no matter the cost. The prison was a world of chaos, overcrowded with dangerous criminals, and filled with an air of hopelessness. Among the inmates were gang members, drug dealers, and hardened criminals. For the three friends and the Sierra brothers, survival in this volatile environment was an immediate challenge. But their bond and determination gave them an edge. It wasn't long before the group began to discuss the idea of escaping from this hellish place. Inspired by the movie The Great Escape, they decided to take a bold approach, digging a tunnel under the prison walls. The plan seemed near impossible given the lack of resources, but desperation fueled their creativity. They fashioned rudimentary tools out of what little they had. A stone was repurposed as a hammer, while a butter knife served as a makeshift chisel. Working in shifts to avoid suspicion, they began the painstaking process of chipping away at the concrete floor in their cell. The work was slow, grueling, and fraught with challenges. Just breaking through the concrete floor took weeks of relentless effort. Once they reached the soil below, they encountered a new set of obstacles. The ground was muddy and waterlogged, making it nearly impossible to dig. Undeterred, the group devised a system to remove water from the tunnel. Using buckets and sheer determination, they managed to create a path forward. As the tunnel grew longer, the risks increased. The constant sound of chipping could attract attention, so they synchronized their digging with the noise of the prison yard. They also set up a watch system to alert the digger if guards approached. The teamwork and discipline among the 6 men were key to their progress. Midway through their escape efforts, disaster struck. A sewer pipe burst, flooding the tunnel with foul-smelling waste. The men were faced with a choice: abandon their plan or find a way to fix the pipe. This is when Benny, a fellow inmate known for his resourcefulness, joined their group. Benny helped seal the pipe with cement they managed to acquire through bribes, allowing the digging to resume. After weeks of back-breaking labor, the tunnel finally extended beyond the inner walls of the prison. On a stormy night, when the guards were distracted by the heavy rain, the 6 men made their move. Crawling through the narrow, damp passage, they emerged outside the outer wall. Disguised as locals and keeping their movements calm, they slipped away into the darkness, leaving the prison far behind. Emerging from the tunnel into the cool night air, the 6 escapees were exhilarated but cautious. Their plan wasn't over yet. Sticking to their prearranged strategy, they split into 2 groups to minimize the risk of being caught. The Sierra brothers and Benny decided to lay low in southern Mexico, while the 3 friends, Mike, May, and Paul, aimed to cross the border back into the United States. Despite their haggard appearance and months in prison, they knew they had one critical advantage. Their passports had not been confiscated, making them their ticket to freedom. Navigating through back roads and avoiding populated areas, the friends made their way toward the U.S. border. Along the way, They depended on their wit and sheer determination to blend in and avoid drawing attention. When they finally reached the border, the tension was palpable. However, luck seemed to favor them. The border guards, perhaps distracted or indifferent, barely scrutinized their passports. To their immense relief, they were waved through, stepping back onto U.S. soil as free men. For the Sierra brothers, the journey took a different turn. Wanted in the U.S. for their smuggling operations, they opted to disappear deep into Mexico, likely leveraging their network of contacts to evade capture. Benny, though initially reluctant to join the escape plan, parted ways with the brothers soon after, possibly seeking a quiet life after the ordeal. The three friends, now back in America, were left to reflect on the harrowing experience. Their adventure, which began with carefree dreams of exploration, had transformed into a life-altering odyssey of survival and resilience. The lessons they learned were profound. The importance of friendship, the limits of human endurance, and the risks of straying into dangerous territory without understanding the consequences. Their escape, though not without scars, remains one of the most audacious prison breaks in history. Reuniting with family and sharing their story, the trio vowed to leave their reckless past behind. While the Sierra brothers and Benny faded into obscurity, Mike, May, and Paul chose to rebuild their lives, cherishing the freedom they nearly lost forever. Their tale, a mix of adventure, misfortune, and triumph, continues to inspire awe and serve as a reminder of the strength of the human spirit. Once free, the group split up to avoid detection. The Sierra brothers disappeared into southern Mexico, taking Benny with them, while the three friends crossed the border back into the United States. Their passports, miraculously untouched during their imprisonment, allowed them to re-enter the country without issue. The ordeal left a lasting impact on their lives. What began as an adventure turned into a lesson in survival, trust, and resilience. Their escape remains one of the most daring prison breaks ever attempted, a testament to the human spirit's ability to endure and overcome even the most harrowing circumstances. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more incredible stories. See you in the next video.